This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our top story this evening, a new bill heading to Governor Scott's desk could seal the criminal records of those who were arrested but later found not guilty. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us in the studio to explain what changes could come as a result of this bill. Jess.
Good evening, Haley. Supporters say this bill would remove a stigma that follows people around who were never even convicted by the court system. Others argue that this would create public safety concerns because of the unknowns of what led to a not guilty verdict.
A person is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. That's the theory behind a bill that would cause millions of criminal records to vanish from public view.
It's pretty easy to get somebody to accuse somebody of a crime. I mean, people in bad breakups do it all the time.
The bill, sponsored by Sarasota Senator Greg Stubbe, would do two things. First, records would be sealed for anyone who had criminal charges dropped, was acquitted during a trial, or was found not guilty of a crime. That means if a future employer did a background check, it would come back clean.
I do believe that people who have not been convicted should not be subjected to losing jobs, losing apartments, and that sort of thing because of a background check that brings up a charge that was never proven.
It would also require mugshots be taken off of publications or websites that currently request payment in order to remove them. Attorney Tom Hudson says this would not apply to news organization websites like mysuncoast.com.
It only kicks in after the case is dismissed and the time for appeal by the state has expired.
The bill passed unanimously in the state Senate, but it doesn't have everyone's support.
I think the parents should be aware of this. I think many parents even aren't aware of this.
One mother is concerned about finding a babysitter she can trust if a background check doesn't tell the full story.
What's the use of doing a background check if none of this is reported, if none of this is filed? And I think it gives the parents a false sense of security.
You would still be able to get the information physically at the clerk of court's office, just not online.
This would apply to well-known cases like Casey Anthony and George Zimmerman. If this bill goes into law, criminal background checks on both Anthony and Zimmerman would come up clean. Haley.
Thank you, Jess. New at 11, 3 people are facing charges tonight after an investigation leads to a drug bust at a home in Bradenton. Detectives searched the home of Donald Evans on 101st Street West today as part of a month-long investigation. 7 people were in the home at the time. During the search, detectives found methamphetamine, marijuana, rock cocaine, Adderall, and several other drugs, as well as paraphernalia. Evans was arrested for trafficking meth and possession of drug paraphernalia. John Smith and Tracy Grozinski were both arrested during the search. A request to dismiss charges against the Punta Gorda police chief is now in the hands of a judge. Attorneys representing Police Chief Tom Lewis were in court today. They're asking that the culpable negligence charge against Lewis be thrown out. The charges come after the fatal shooting of a woman during a citizens training academy. Mary Knowlton was shot by Officer Lee Cole during a role-playing demonstration last August. No decision was made at today's hearing. A judge is expected to rule on the motion next week. Chief Lewis remains on administrative leave. Cole is facing charges for negligent manslaughter in that case. An employee with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is facing more charges in the case involving a former deputy accused of attempted murder. Carson Plank is being charged with tampering with physical evidence. Investigators say Plank helped former deputy Frankie Bybee cover up crimes. Bybee is accused of exploiting and trying to kill an elderly woman. Plank was the first responding deputy at the scene back in January. Investigators say she lied to detectives during the investigation. She was already charged with providing false information to law enforcement. She remains on administrative leave. New tonight, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office asking for help identifying a man who burglarized a store in Sarasota this morning. Deputies responded to Lee's Food Store on Swift Road around 4:30. When they arrived, they noticed a padlock on the front door had been cut. Surveillance video shows the man entering the store and filling a bag with 30 to 40 cigarette cartons before running off toward Constitution Boulevard. This is the second time in 2 weeks that store has been burglarized. A new development under construction in downtown Sarasota is raising concerns about the negative impact it could be causing on the environment. Nearby residents say the developer of the DeSoto luxury apartment homes, polluting the surrounding area. Developers are using styrofoam during the construction process, which is causing a mess downtown. The contractor says crews are working to clean it up off the streets, but says it is not toxic.
The styrofoam is biodegradable eventually. In other words, it's not something that lasts forever.
According to our research, the styrofoam is biodegradable, but it takes 500 years to break down. The city has received complaints about the mess. They say they're looking into it and will use a stop work order if the styrofoam is not cleaned up. The city of Northport may soon have its own hospital. Manatee Healthcare Systems, which operates the Lakewood Ranch Medical Center and Manatee Memorial Hospital, has indicated that they're interested in working with the city to move forward with the plan. The proposal is for a 120-bed hospital within city limits. Now they need support for a certificate of need from the Agency for Healthcare Administration to approve the plan. Northport has been declined after asking that in the past. And now for a check on our forecast, which is actually windy and a little bit chilly out there, shockingly, Bob.
Yeah, and not only that, we have a few showers around too, Haley, as a result of a couple of secondary fronts moving behind the last one that moved through overnight. Get a look at the waves. This is the biggest story now, is the fact that we have this high surf advisory, rip current advisory, small craft advisory in effect until Saturday. Even at night, you can see that the wash and the waves continue to move up on Casey Key right here, indicating that the waves have not let up. And so these advisories are going to stay with us through midday tomorrow. And these are the sustained winds right now, 20 to 25 miles an hour from Anna Maria Island southward to Longboat Key and Siesta Key at anywhere from 20 to 25 miles an hour. A little less inland, but still breezy even in the eastern portions of Manatee and Sarasota counties right now. Minnesota Beach, 20 mile an hour wind out of the west right now. So it's piling the water and the waves right up on the beaches. High surf advisory I mentioned in effect until midday tomorrow, and a small craft advisory may have to be extended. We had a line of showers move through. The first front is actually down to our south. This is the one that moved through around 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And now we have these secondary fronts, little pieces of energy kind of pinwheeling around this area of low pressure, which is bringing us a little bit of light rain. And we had some in Northport just a little bit ago. This one, expect a brief shower or two, not a lot of accumulation, but don't be surprised to see some of that move through overnight. Well, more in the forecast for the weekend, which promises to be just outstanding in just a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. In Washington, all eyes are on the Senate now after a new health care bill passed the House. Senators on both sides of the aisle are already expressing reservations over this legislation. Notably, they're looking at changes to the House's plan to cut funding for Medicaid and allowing states to opt out of a provision to allow insurance companies to charge more for people with pre-existing conditions.
You're not going to get one Democratic vote to support it in its current form because of the pre-existing condition, because of the tax cut, because of losses of coverage.
Senate leaders also say they won't take up the bill until it receives a Congressional Budget Office score, which is expected next week. State lawmakers are wrapping up the 2017 legislative session. Today was the deadline to pass legislation that is not related to the budget. Anything that they did not act on today will have to wait for another year. Some of the last-minute legislation passed today includes setting aside more than $1 million to create 2 memorials for the boys killed at the Dozier School, placing burden of proof in stand-your-ground cases on the prosecution instead of the defendant in the pretrial hearings. Prosecutors would have to prove there is a clear and convincing evidence that the defendant did not act in self-defense. And giving parents and community members more power in challenging school textbooks and library books if they find them inappropriate. Another bill heading to the governor's desk would lead to harsher penalties for drug dealers. The state Senate is backing off on an amendment that would have given judges more leeway in sentencing drug dealers convicted of trafficking fentanyl. The House has already passed its version of the measure, which requires minimum mandatory sentences for people convicted of possessing 4 or more grams of the synthetic drug. Those who sell the drug to someone who later overdoses could also face murder charges under this new legislation. Meanwhile, a bill that would put regulations in place for medical marijuana up in smoke tonight. The House and Senate failed to reach an agreement on this bill due to differences over how many dispensaries each marijuana treatment center should be able to run. The Senate wanted to cap the number at 5, while the House wanted no cap. It will now be up to the Department of Health to come up with the rules for patients, caregivers, doctors, and treatment centers. The rules must be created by July 3rd and will go into effect in October. Families on welfare will now have more resources available to help find employment. Under a bill signed into law today by President Trump, the U.S. Departments of Labor and Health and Human Services will create a database of practices that have been successful in getting people off of welfare. The bill provides $10 million for the Census Bureau to develop data on how different approaches affect marriage, work, and the well-being of children. Right now, more than 3.5 million people are on welfare nationwide. The bill was sponsored by Congressman Vern Buchanan. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the official Suncoast forecast for your weekend, plus maps that will be crucial for you to know about as we head into hurricane season, and why 18 members of a fraternity at Penn State are now facing charges.
Across America with Mega Jackpots, it's Mega Millions.
Hello, America. I'm John Crow. It is Friday, May 5th, and tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is an estimated annuitized $20 million. To win that jackpot, you must match these 5 white balls plus that gold mega ball. Now, let's see if I can make you a millionaire tonight. Our first winning number tonight is 47. That's followed by 23. Up next, we have 53. That's followed by 33. And your final white ball for this Friday evening is 4. Now for the Mega Ball. Tonight's Mega Ball number is 7. Again, tonight's winning numbers are 47, 23, 53, 33, 4, and the gold Mega Ball is 7. Now, no match lost 6 numbers. Tuesday's jackpot can be $25 million. Good luck and play on, America.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by 1 on any or all numbers and still win.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Bob, it's hard to believe after we had those 90s that now it's
just
actually a little bit chilly.
It's just a week ago, mid-90s, hottest ever recorded in April last week, last weekend. And now we're not going to see any record lows, but we will see lows in the 50s, mid-50s, upper 50s on Sunday morning.
Wow.
Going to enjoy it because June's not too far away, and that's when we go into the low to mid-90s all the time. Well, a beautiful, glorious shot tonight from Fred Seeger, who sends in quite frequently, getting this from Facebook and this from Siesta Key. There are some clouds out there, yes, coming in from the Gulf, kind of wrapping around this area of low pressure, and this one just at the right time as the sun was getting ready to set just after 8 o'clock tonight. The weather headlines read like this. Here we go. Well, let's get back to them so we can read them. So that's your speed reader. We have a high surf advisory, rip current advisory, sunny and cool weekend ahead, and then warming up for the work week. We're going to get back into the mid to upper 80s pretty quickly by Monday afternoon. Now, here's the first front that worked through our area just over the last couple of hours, and now the next one is right behind it, moving through Pinellas County and Hillsborough. Expect a brief downpour, not a lot of heavy rainfall anticipated with this, but it's just a post cold front now. This is a couple of them moving through the Suncoast convergent bands, if you will, wrapping around that area of low pressure. Port Charlotte seeing some light rainfall, Pinellas County getting some light rain, and Anna Maria, you'll see some of this as well. The actual low pressure center is now moving off through the Carolinas, and wrapping around it is that northwesterly wind, which has been strong. We showed that earlier. Sustained winds now up to 20 to 25 miles an hour on the barrier islands up and down the coast. And this next batch of rain is about an hour away from Anna Maria and Manatee County as it makes its way off to the southeast. Well, the overall satellite and radar picture shows a lot of clear skies across Texas, Arkansas, and into Louisiana. That's what we're in store for over the weekend. Expect a lot of sunshine around and temperatures on the cooler side. 71 right now, but the dew point is what's so low. It's at 49 degrees. That's unheard of. Winds out of the west-northwest at 22, sustained at the airport. The pressure has been rising at 29.87 inches. The high today, and that was earlier today before the front moved through, 79 degrees. 84 is our normal, and 92 the record set in 2002. And wouldn't you know it, the airport didn't get any rainfall today, but we had some showers around in downtown Bradenton, getting up to about a half inch of rain. Saturday's forecast looks to be pretty nice. Warm. It will be a bit windy. Unfortunately for boaters and beachgoers, be careful out there. We'll have those advisories in effect until midday, and they may be even extended. Again, we'll wait for the National Weather Service on that one. But the first front moves through, and then we'll see lots of northwest winds tomorrow. They'll stay rather brisk. And then for Saturday afternoon, looks good, sunny skies. Even on Sunday, there's another weak frontal system moving around, and you'll see just a little bit of thin cloudiness there on Sunday afternoon, making its way through north central Florida. No rain anticipated with it, as the air will be too dry. And speaking of dry, even though we got a little rainfall over the past few days in some areas, we're still in this extreme drought situation that will persist. And with the low humidity around and strong winds, that burn ban across the area is much needed across the southwest Florida. Some rain over the northeast, all the way down through Cincinnati and West Virginia, getting some showers there. Look at the cold air spilling southward behind the system all the way to Atlanta. It's 49 degrees there, 98 in Phoenix. That cool air will stick around too, at least for the next 48 hours here before things start to warm up on Monday. Well, I mentioned it, the small craft advisory is in effect. Seas really high at 5 to 7 feet out there, choppy conditions, and 73 for the beaches, and UV index will be high for tonight. Mostly fair, a few showers, breezy and cool. 64, winds out of the northwest at 15 to 20. Tomorrow, look for gorgeous weather, although a little bit cooler. Northwest winds 10 to 15. The extended forecast does call for mid to upper 80s by Monday, and then sunshine to stay with us through Friday. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Powerful storms are slamming the eastern U.S., causing major flooding from the Midwest to Northeast. A powerful storm system swamped much of the Northeast. In New York City, cars sloshed and slogged their way through these water-clogged streets. The rain and wind were fierce. They were fierce enough to knock down part of a huge concrete retaining wall and an iron railing into the middle of a roadway. Subway stations were flooded.
I just ran out of luck, I guess. Halfway through, it just stalled on me.
I saw the manhole next to me. It looked like a geyser. The car started slowly, but then it just died and the water just got so high.
In the south, a funnel cloud was spotted at the Atlanta airport, and a likely tornado caused damage near Savannah. A tornado outside of Raleigh sent a tree into a home. More rain in the forecast tomorrow, even some snow showers possible in parts of the Northeast. Now to a follow-up on devastating wildfires that spread across Tennessee last year. Singer Dolly Parton says she is giving out her final checks from the foundation to families that were displaced due to the fires. In all, 900 families have received $10,000 each from the foundation to help them recover. Parton started the My People Fund in November when the fires killed 14 people in the Gatlinburg area and destroyed or damaged thousands of buildings. We're just a few weeks away from the start of hurricane season, as Bob has mentioned, and Manatee County public safety officials want to make sure everyone is prepared. The county is releasing updated storm surge evacuation level interactive maps. The maps indicate your risk level in various storm scenarios based on how close you are to the coastline, rivers, and bridges. Evacuation levels vary from a zone A, which is the closest to ground level, to a zone E, which can be up to 33 feet above ground level.
And I know I'm kind of in a flood zone. The river is not that far away.
Some of the hurricane levels and evacuation levels in the county have changed due to the geography and building development.
Manatee County's emergency management chief says regardless of where it falls on the map, mobile homes and recreational vehicles are never safe places to stay during high wind events, including hurricanes. 18 fraternity members at Penn State University are now facing charges after a sophomore died during a pledge activity. ABC's Josh Haskell has the latest.
18 Penn State students charged in the death of their fraternity brother, Timothy Piazza. Investigators found it wasn't just their actions during a pledging ritual that led to the 19-year-old's death, but how members of Beta Theta Pi tried to cover it up.
They bring the pledges and make them go from station to station and drink copious amounts of alcohol really quickly. He fell down these steps.
That first fall down the basement steps happened 12 hours before Piazza's frat brothers called for help. The district attorney says Piazza had 2 serious falls while he was heavily intoxicated.
Some of them Googled things like what to do with a head injury. They looked frightened for themselves, and they literally delayed getting him help. When he arrived at the hospital, it was too late.
An autopsy revealed Piazza had multiple traumatic injuries. As charges were announced, Piazza's parents stood next to a photo of their son.
We're devastated by the loss of our son, Tim, and we're going to miss him terribly. He wanted more than to make people laugh and just be a good friend.
The charges include involuntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, hazing, and tampering with evidence.
It's heartbreaking all around. There's no winners. We don't win by even charging these young men, because the only win is for him to be alive.
The district attorney said videotape evidence from surveillance cameras inside the house was crucial in their investigation. They had a crime captured from beginning to end. Josh Haskell, ABC News, New York.
A former Texas police officer is now being charged with murder after he fatally shot a 15-year-old last weekend. Officer Roy Oliver turned himself in tonight. Balk Springs police say they were called to a home Saturday night for reports of a house party with unsupervised drunk teenagers. Police originally said they heard gunfire and encountered a car filled with teenagers backing toward them in an aggressive manner. That's when Oliver fired his rifle at the car, shooting Jordan Edwards in the head. The police chief now says body cam footage shows the teens were driving away from the officers. The investigation into this shooting is ongoing. Sports is next, but first here's David Spade, who is in for Jimmy Kimmel Tonight.
The following is a feast for your senses. Are you as drunk as Guillermo at this point? Look at him, he's still sitting back. Guillermo, that bit's been over for 30 minutes.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like cell phone protection for 3 phones, plus an interest-bearing account. And that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we asked Dr. Jenny about medical marijuana delays, plus Mother's Day gift ideas that give back, and Oak and Stone in the kitchen.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting loose salon.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like full ID theft protection, and that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Now, sports.
Chris Archer and the Rays at home tonight taking on the Twins. To the bottom of the fourth, the scoreboard still empty. Daniel Robertson hits a solo shot to left field to put the Rays on the board. Derek Norris follows up with a solo shot of his own as the Rays hit back-to-back home runs to take a 2-run lead. There's the second one. Same inning, bases loaded. Steven Souza Jr. takes a walk and scores Tim Beckham. Rays up 3-0. But to the top of the seventh, the score 3-1. The Blue Jays tie it up, and Toronto goes on to win this one 8-4. As the NBA playoffs heat up, tensions are high on the court, but not always between the players. Take a look at this. The Spurs had some fun at the Rockets mascot's expense. The Spurs Coyote mascot got into a fight with the Rockets mascot, Clutch. That's when WWE wrestler Mark Henry gets involved, chair included, of course. It's not WWE without that, right? He ends up hitting Clutch with the chair, as you see there. He then dragged Clutch off the court. Pretty cute. Speaking of wrestling, check this out. Students at Booker High School get the chance to rumble today. The fun was all part of what's called WrestleMania, speaking of WWE, a fundraiser put on by the school's new wrestling coach. Students and staff could challenge each other to a match in the gym in front of the entire school.
The opponent I had, he was my history teacher, and I challenged him, and he accepted, actually. And he wasn't all that good, but I was gonna play around a little bit, but he ended up sitting on my arm, so I got injured just a little bit, but I'm fine right now.
Well, there were 7 matches in all. The proceeds from today's fundraiser will help the Booker High School wrestling team. All in good fun. That's a look at sports. We'll have our lotto numbers right after this.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Everyone loves a bright and cheerful smile. Not everyone can find the dental care they need and can afford. Now there's a place nearby where anyone can receive professional quality dental care at an affordable cost. The LECOM School of Dental Medicine in Lakewood Ranch is now accepting patients. You will receive your care in comfortable, state-of-the-art treatment rooms. To schedule your appointment, please call the LECOM Dental Group practices 941-405-1600. We will be happy to see you smiling again.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Florida Studio Theater presents Older Than Dirt, now playing in the Court Cabaret. Come celebrate the ups and downs of getting older. From joints popping to mirrors mocking, this show combines some of the funniest songs ever written for a witty and heartfelt 360-degree view of aging. Don't miss what critics are calling hilarious, incredibly creative, that has many laugh-out-loud moments. Older Than Dirt is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting FloridaStudioTheater.org.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
We've all heard about high school sweethearts. What about kindergarten sweethearts? Chris Peronata and Nanette Barron met in kindergarten in the 1970s. They even had their first kiss in the classroom. But Nanette moved away and the two lost touch. Years later, they reconnected over, guess what, Facebook. When it came time to pop the question, as you see here, Chris decided to go back to where they met and get some help from the current students. They sang a song to Nanette asking her to marry Chris. Nanette said it was so sweet. Well, she just had to say yes, of course.
Great story there.
Kindergarten. So who knows, someone in that class, there could be a couple.
Yeah, you never know. I gave my mom's wedding ring to a girl in kindergarten.
Did
and
you?
Never got it back either.
Do you know what happened to her?
No, her last name was Vogel, though. I can't remember her first name.
Oh,
You never
I have
know.
to look her up on Facebook.
She might still have the ring.
She
My mom's
might.
missing it.
She might want it back.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. See you Monday.